What's up guys, Naam here. Are you looking for the best transfer credit cards? You're in luck because I'm gonna go over my top 5 picks. Balanced transfer credit cards can greatly help you save interest if you have credit card debt. Credit cards are one of those financial tools that are a double-edged sword. You can get access to money whenever you want it, and you can also earn some money just by using the card. On the other hand, the downside is that if you don't pay back the money that you spent, the interest is gonna come back and bite you in the ass. So before I dig into the cards, if you're carrying a lot of credit card debt, I recommend having a specific strategy on how to pay off these cards. More specifically, on whatever card that you decide to apply for, whether they give you 15 months or 21 months, just make sure that you can pay off that debt within that time. Of course, it is possible to keep snowballing this process of going from balance transfer card to balance transfer card, but I recommend trying to get rid of credit card debt as quickly as possible, since usually this type of debt has the highest interest. Before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button and to subscribe. As a disclaimer, I'm not getting paid to talk about these credit cards. These are just my own personal opinion of what is best out there. Alright, so let's get into it. The first credit card that we have lined up is the Citi Simplicity card. This credit card, there is an intro balance transfer period of 21 months. You have to make a balance transfer within the first 4 months because any balance transfer after the first 4 months, you're going to be charged with an interest rate, which is what you want to avoid at all costs when you're doing a balance transfer. That's pretty much the whole point of this video. This card also has a 0% APR on new purchases for the first 12 months, which is a pretty good benefit since you don't have to pay interest on anything that you just bought. But I don't recommend doing that since you already have credit card debt already. Might as well try to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible instead of adding to the problem. For each balance transfer, there's going to be a 5% fee. So let's say that you have a $10,000 credit card debt balance. If you transfer that over to this credit card, this will cost you $500. If you're thinking to yourself, why should I pay more money to place my debt somewhere else? Let me show you. So let's just say that your average credit card interest rate is about 20% per year. So if you had $10,000 of credit card debt on a single credit card, just by having this balance, it will cost you $2,000 for that 1 year. Yes, this card is going to charge you $500, but you have the span of 21 months to pay that off. So you really got to think about what is the worst of two evils. So if I could spend $500 to save an extra $1,500, I think that's a no-brainer. With this credit card, there's really no point system. It's really mainly just to use for balance transfers. This card also advertises no late fees, no penalty rates, and also no annual fees. This is full of BS. Yes, the annual fee is valid, but anytime you're late on any type of payment, you're still going to be charged interest on it after the intro offer. So just keep that in mind. I would only just keep this card while trying to manage your credit card debt. But other than that, there are way better options out there. This card is really just best if you just need more time. The next one up is the Discover It Balance Transfer Credit Card. With this card, you have an intro balance transfer of 18 months. So with each balance transfer, this will cost you 3% of the balance, which is less than the previous card. So if you have $10,000 worth of credit card debt and you want to transfer it to this card, 3% of $10,000 is $300. Even though this credit card does not have the longest length of time to pay back your balance transfer, in my opinion, this is actually one of the better cards on the list. So with this credit card, there is a reward system. You get 5% cash back at different places each quarter such as gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants, and Amazon.com. But the thing about these rotating categories, there is a quarterly maximum. You also get unlimited 1% cash back on everything else automatically. You also can redeem as much cash back as you want anytime, and rewards never expire. With this credit card, Discover will match all of your cash back that you earn by the end of the first year automatically, and there's no limit on how much they can match, which is pretty good perk since it's free money anyways. Another listed benefit is that the customer service is 100% US based. I was actually surprised that they even list this as a perk since I guess it must be nice to speak to someone who has an American English accent. Also with the Discover card, you get a free credit score, which is great because you can see your results by paying off your debt. There's also a benefit that you can get an alert if Discover finds your social security number on the dark web. I was kind of surprised that Discover actually monitors the dark web, but it's cool. It's free. And for all purchases, you get no interest for the first 6 months. And with this card, there's no annual fee. Alright, so the next card that we have up is the Bank Americard credit card. With this credit card, they give you up to 18 months of 0% APR for balance transfers made within the first 60 days. For each balance transfer, there's going to be a 3% fee. With this card, there's no annual fee, and you also get access to your FICO score for free when you sign up for online banking or download the app. Another perk with this card is that you get zero liability guaranteed, which means that if anybody uses your card fraudulently, you're covered and you'll get reimbursed. Just be aware that most credit cards already do this. And with this card, there's no reward system. The next credit card that we have lined up is the Citi Double Cash Card. This card is already popular for new credit card holders, but this card is also excellent for balance transfers. With this credit card, you get an intro balance transfer of 18 months. So every time you do a balance transfer, this is going to cost you a 3% fee and also at least $5 minimum. If you're transferring a large amount of credit card debt, don't even count on that $5. The great thing about this card is that you earn 2% cash back on every purchase. But the way they wrote this perk is kind of odd. It's 1% cash back when you buy, plus 1% cash back when you pay for those purchases. Which basically keeps you in check when you buy things and by paying off your credit card balance. Which is what you want to do already when you own a credit card. This is probably one of those credit cards that you want to keep for as long as possible, since there's really no downside to this card. And lastly, this card doesn't have an annual fee. The next card I will be talking about is the Capital One Quicksilver Cash Rewards credit card. This credit card has the lowest amount of months for 0 APR for balance transfers out of all the credit cards I mentioned. But there are some perks that make this credit card worth it. There is 0 APR for the first 15 months, and each balance transfer will cost you 3%. The key highlights that set this card apart from the other credit cards that I mentioned is that you get a one-time $150 cash bonus after you spend $500 on purchases after the first 3 months of your account opening. So in my eyes, that's a pretty good return. That's 30%, which is pretty awesome compared to other credit cards that offer a cash bonus. But just remember, to get that bonus, you should be spending on actual expenses and not on random things just to meet the spending limit. So with this credit card, you earn an unlimited 1.5% cash back on everyday purchases. This card does not only offer 0 APR on balance transfers, you won't have any interest on any purchases that you made for the first 15 months also. But again, we're trying to avoid debt, not adding more to the pile. With this credit card, there's no annual fee or foreign transaction fees, which makes it a pretty decent travel card. So now here are some tips that I recommend before even looking at opening a new credit card for a balance transfer. The first thing you really want to think about is what is your end goal? Even though some of the credit cards that I mentioned have an intro 0% APR on new purchases, when you're trying to get rid of debt, I would try to avoid costly purchases that will bring you back to square one. The whole point of a balance transfer is trying to give you more time and to eliminate interest that can cost you more by holding that balance on your original card. So let's say you have $10,000 worth of credit card debt, and then you transfer it to a credit card that offers you 18 months of 0 APR. And this credit card also has a 3% balance transfer fee. Whenever you transfer your balance of $10,000, the total debt that you have now will be $10,300. So with that being said, $10,300 divided by 18 months, this is roughly going to cost you about $572.22 per month. Yes, I know this is still quite a bit of money, but at least you have a target number that you know to avoid more costly credit card debt. Balance transfers are not for people who just want to keep delaying their credit card debt. These are for people who actually want to pay them off. Paying off credit card debt not only lowers your expenses in the case of an emergency, you will also increase your credit score, which can benefit you in so many ways. Because credit utilization is one of the biggest factors that go into your FICO credit score. Alright guys, go out there and make some smart decisions. I'll see you in my next video.